Millions of Americans could be at risk of eviction in just 2 days when federal protections created during the pandemic are set to expire. About 6.5 million households were behind on rent earlier this month, and around half of those families and individuals worry that they could be evicted in the next 2 months. That's even though Congress has allocated more than $46 billion to help Americans affected by the pandemic pay their rent. Janet Shamlian is in Las Vegas, where just a fraction of the money for rent relief has reached those who need it most. Janet, good morning.
Anthony, good morning to you. The rent relief money is being allocated differently state by state. Here in Nevada, they had only given out about $3 million by the end of June. Texas, on the other hand, has doled out some $400 million. But even renters there are worried that they're not going to get the help they need before the deadline.
Hey there, besties. Thank you for stopping by. I am MICHONDENYSE. We're going to go ahead and move forward and see what's going on, see if anything has changed. So this one is new or newer. Broadcast is from July the 29th, and they're saying 2 more days. I thought the moratorium was over, child. So obviously it ended on July the 31st, period. So August the 1st, it's like everything is back on and popping. So the landlords are like, it's time to get that eviction going for those that aren't paying rent. So let's go ahead and see what else they got to say on what's going on, child.
The Bumpus family may be on a ramp to homelessness.
Go on, sit.
Jeremy says he was laid off in January and hasn't paid rent in 5 months. When the moratorium ends Saturday, he's worried his family will be evicted.
I'm from California, so I'm not from here, so I don't really have no backup plan or no plan B. I don't have family and friends.
The owner of their Houston area home has gone to court to get them out.
I mean, now listen, now this is not typical and normal, okay? They got a whole intact nuclear family. You got the mother and the father, the husband and the wife, and the 2 boys and 2 dogs, okay? Now, we haven't worked in that long. You're telling me that there is nothing that could be done with 2 adults at minimum? Like, I'm not trying to be unsympathetic and unempathetic. There's a whole man here. What is going on?
What will it be like at the end of the month when the moratorium ends?
We are absolutely terrified of what will happen at the end of the month once the moratorium ends, because any case that was on hold can no longer be on hold.
Juan Santamaria of Lone Star Legal Aid says he has 60 more cases, just like the Bumpuses.
Housing is a human right.
Protests have erupted across the country as the eviction crisis has worsened. As many as 15 million people are in the same situation as the Bumpuses, at risk of losing their homes while they wait for federal rent relief.
So, oh my goodness. So, I don't understand. I'm sorry. I don't get it. I don't get it. You know, I don't know. I didn't know I thought moratorium was already over. All right. So I didn't know, but that's not my issue. So I guess I shouldn't know that, but I'm assuming these people knew this. So I really don't understand how the man is going to say, I don't have any family and no one is around me. Do people think that they're supposed to live for free and on other people? Like, I see these people over here, you know, doing all this with the protest or whatever they're doing. But I'm sorry, I hate to be rude, but what is that supposed to do? How is that supposed to help if the rent is not being paid in a place that you don't own? If you don't own it and you're not paying the rent and the person who owns it needs to pay their mortgage, or they just need to get their rent because they're not trying to give anything away for free because that's not what they're in business for, then I'm confused as to what it is that we're protesting. I just don't get it, but maybe it's just me.
The bad news is that the money is getting out very slowly.
Getting the money quickly.
This week, Diane Yentl of the National Low-Income Housing Coalition offered Congress a startling fact.
In some places, it's not getting out at all, and it will not reach all the renters who need it to stay stably housed in time.
Nearly half the states in the country have used less than 5% of their federal relief money. As of June, Florida, South Carolina, and New York had given out less than 1%.
All right. So honestly, to me, this sounds like it's all a game. This sounds like a big old game with the local government, because if the money is there and each state has to do it however they choose to do it as far as doling it out, and these like 3-4 particular states have only used less than 1%, where's that money at? You see, this is why having someone else be in charge and take care of you. It's interesting to me though, right? That women, black women in particular, will say, you know, I don't need a man. I can do it all by myself. I can do it. I got a business. But then we'll wait around for Section 8. Now, mind you, that's probably not the same people, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lump them together. Okay. I'm trying to understand why people think they're supposed to live for free if they're adults. I ain't talking about kids. I'm trying to understand where it is that one would think that if you are not paying anything, that you're going to be able to stay there indefinitely. Because if we're not paying the rent, then we, hopefully knew that there were some rules and that rent was going to have to be paid. So to sit around and just wait around for the government to do it and take care of you, that's not what adults should be doing. Understand that's COVID. Got it. Understand it. Whatever. But to be solely dependent upon the government to take care of you, especially if you don't have any physical incapacities, you're an able-bodied person, and you have kids, and you have whatever else, dogs, I guess. But then now that the last second, we're here at the last fourth quarter with 1 second left. Now it's unfair. It don't look right. We're waiting. They're taking forever. The government takes forever. I still haven't gotten my daggone tax refund. Still. It's almost, what's the next holiday? Labor Day. I still ain't got my tax refund. So to sit around and think that the government gonna do anything, especially during this time, and waiting till the last minute, that man said that he don't have another plan. Sir, you got a whole family there. You should have had another plan a long time ago. You should be working in some gas station, at a McDonald's, opening up a business, something, cutting grass. It's hot now. Cut some grass, something. But to just sit around or stand around and just be like, I don't have no plans, I don't have no family, that's a cop-out to me. When you have to tell your sons that we got to go when you can't take anything with you, who are you going to blame then? Like, we got to start accepting the fact that we are responsible for our own lives. And depending on someone like the government, not even someone, an entity like the government, is probably never going to be a good thing, especially in a case like this. I understand it was unprecedented with COVID. But to think that you was just going to not pay rent and not start having a plan in the 5 months on what you was going to do to catch up, work with the landlord, talk to him, get some money, give them something, work at it, do something. Instead of putting your family in jeopardy of being homeless and out on the street. I'm sorry, maybe it's just me.
But the money has been flowing faster recently. Deputy Treasury Secretary Wally Adeyemo acknowledged that early rules, like allowing only landlords to apply for relief, slowed down distribution.
We revised the rule to make sure that tenants, individual people, can actually apply for that money.
John Boriak owns these lower-income apartments in Houston and heads up an association of area property owners. He believes the moratorium should not be extended, saying it's taken an especially hard hit on so-called mom-and-pop owners.
I'm just trying to understand what was everyone's plan. The plan couldn't have just been to wait for the government to step in and save you. I just can't believe that was the only plan here.
This is their livelihood, and so when those rents go unpaid, the mortgage is still due, and the utility bills are still due.
Advocates like Santa Maria say rent relief programs are working, but require patience.
It's understandable if you haven't been paid in 4 or 5 months, you're not thinking the 6th month or the 7th month. That's when you're going to get paid. But these programs are successful. It just takes a little bit of time.
King Queen.
But the clock is ticking as millions struggle to keep a roof over their heads.
In some cases, states simply don't have the staff to run such a large organization, but there are signs of improvement. In June, the states gave out more money than in the previous 5 months combined.
Depending on the government to do anything and for them to step in when you need help the most, it's like you think that you're the only one and you're not, and they don't even care. But you're not the only one. And if you got kids, you probably should have a plan B and a plan C, sir. So I'm very disappointed in you for this. You should be doing whatever needs to be done to make sure your wife and your kids don't go anywhere. Good luck to them people though, child. That's it. That's all. If you made it this far, I do appreciate you. Please consider subscribing. I will see you all in the next one.